The second those three entitled knocks cracked against my back gate like she owned the damn thing, I knew it was Lorraine Whitaker, vice president of the HOA in our so-called paradise of Sonoran Ridge Estates, where the rules were tighter than a cheap pair of jeans after Thanksgiving. I took my sweet time walking over, iced coffee in hand. Sure enough, there she stood in her signature pastel blazer, arms crossed so tight her tennis bracelet was cutting off circulation. "Ryan Kessler," she said, my name dripping with disapproval like I'd just run over her prize roses. "You ignored the community bulletin about the family unity pool day this weekend." Again. I leaned on the gate, not bothering to open it. "That's because my pool isn't part of your little communist experiment, Lorraine. I paid extra at closing specifically to opt out of the shared amenities nonsense. You people have that glorified hot tub by the clubhouse. Use it." Her face did that thing where her smile stayed frozen, but her eyes turned into ice picks. "It's not very neighborly, Ryan. The children deserve access to quality recreation. You're being selfish with all this space." She gestured dramatically at my yard like it was a public park. Behind her, her two spoiled kids, Hunter and Harper, whined on cue like they'd been rehearsed. I smiled thinly. The neighborhood pool is right there for the children. "This one's mine. Private property. Novel concept, I know." That's when she pulled out her phone with the flair of a Broadway actress. I thought she was filming for the group chat to paint me as the neighborhood villain again. Nope. She dialed 911. "Officer, there's a dangerous situation at 1427 Desert Bloom Lane. This man is refusing children access to community facilities and becoming aggressive with me." She stared daggers at me while speaking loud enough for the whole block to hear. I just raised an eyebrow as the dispatcher responded, clearly unimpressed. "Ma'am, is this a public pool or HOA owned?" Lorraine sputtered. "It's part of the community standards." The dispatcher cut her off. "If it's on private property, this is a civil matter. We can't send officers." Her face went nuclear red. My phone buzzed right then. I answered on speaker. "Hey, Captain Ruiz. You got those files I sent?" Lorraine froze mid-rant. The captain's voice boomed out. "Yeah, Ryan. That Community Enhancement Fund looks like straight-up fraud. Come by the station tomorrow with the originals." She hung up on 911 so fast her thumb nearly broke the screen and stormed off, dragging her kids and leaving the gate wide open like the rules didn't apply to her. I locked it, already knowing the group chat was about to explode with her victim narrative. The next morning, old man Ramirez from 2 houses down wandered over while I was loading documents into my truck. "Saw Lori at your place yesterday. She's telling everyone you're a bully trying to destroy the community fabric." I popped the glove box and handed him a folder. "Tell me how this destroys anything." Inside were county records showing over $27,000 funneled to Cactus Ridge Maintenance, a company owned by Lorraine's brother-in-law. Zero work done, while our common areas looked like a dust bowl. Ramirez whistled low. "She's been hitting us with fines for beige trim shades while skimming dues? Half the street's sick of her tyranny." By afternoon, I'd dropped everything at the sheriff's office. Captain Ruiz, a no-bullshit desert veteran, scanned the papers and shook his head. "This ain't just sloppy bookkeeping. This is embezzlement with extra steps." The emergency HOA meeting flyer appeared on my door the next day. Urgent discussion on disruptive residents and preserving harmony. Mandatory, of course. They loved that word. Saturday morning, the clubhouse was packed. Lorraine stood at the front in full queen mode, projector ready to show cherry-picked evidence of my aggression. She launched into her speech about protecting our values from selfish elements. I waited until she said transparency above all before standing up. "Funny you mentioned transparency, Lorraine." I walked to the front and distributed packets. "These are public records showing payments to your brother-in-law's ghost company for landscaping that never happened, while my grass was fined for being half an inch too long." Gasps rippled. Someone yelled, "That's where our dues went." Lorraine's composure cracked. "These are private matters. You have no right." "I have every right when you're using HOA power to shake us down." I cut in, holding up the sheriff's case number. "And law enforcement agrees." The room turned on her like a pack of hyenas that finally smelled blood. Her own board member, a quiet accountant named Greg, stood up. I motioned to suspend President Whitaker immediately. That's when the doors opened. 2 deputies walked in with Captain Ruiz. "Lorraine Whitaker? We have a warrant for the HOA financial records and need you to come answer some questions downtown." She tried the tears. "This is harassment. I'm just trying to keep order." But the cuffs clicked anyway as they led her out past the very neighbors she'd spent years bullying with violation notices for holiday lights being too festive or flags being the wrong size. The silence broke into thunderous applause. The investigation snowballed after that. Turns out Lorraine hadn't just skimmed, she'd forged signatures, created fake special assessments for projects that never existed, and kept a little black book tracking who complained so she could handle them with selective enforcement. Over $45,000 gone. One family nearly lost their house over fake liens she filed. 3 more board members resigned within a week when their own signatures appeared on shady docs. The quiet one, Greg? Turns out he was usefully blind until the heat came. We didn't stop at removing the cancer. A group of us, me, Ramirez, a few fed-up families, organized a proper vote with county oversight. We rewrote the bylaws from the ground up. Term limits, mandatory independent audits, full financial transparency online, and no more weaponizing community standards to settle personal grudges. I turned down the board seat. I'd had enough of power games. I agreed to chair the oversight committee instead, making sure every quarterly report went to every homeowner. Lorraine's trial was a spectacle. The judge wasn't impressed by her. I was just a volunteer trying to help defense. Guilty on multiple felony counts, wire fraud, falsifying records, theft by deception. For years, restitution, and permanently banned from any community leadership. Last month, I finally threw that pool party I'd been putting off. Gate wide open because I chose to, not because some control freak demanded it. Kids splashed, adults laughed, no one measuring grass or checking paint swatches. The neighborhood feels different now. Lighter. People actually talk to each other instead of reporting each other. The new board planted Real community gardens instead of fining people for wildflowers. Sitting by the pool that night under the Arizona stars, I realized the real victory wasn't just taking down one power-hungry woman. It was proving that when good people finally push back against petty tyrants hiding behind rules, the house of cards always falls. But here's the question I want you to answer honestly in the comments. True or false? In situations like this, is the individual Karen the real problem, or is it the unchecked power of the HOA system itself that turns normal people into monsters, who really got the karma they deserved?